Happy
Welcome
Virtcon number
to
3.
Virtcon 2023 and number 3.
Is this our first one post flu sniffles or whatever that was? No, we had one in the middle,
I
I
don't know.
think.
Yeah, what was trying to make me remember now. We've done this every year.
Yeah.
Whether it was this one or a different one, we've always done one.
Definitely. Yeah, so it's good to have everyone here for this year's iteration. We've got some interesting talks lined up for you guys. We have the contest. We're going to announce the winners. Really, there weren't enough people to announce any losers. Like everyone that enters is basically going to get something. So good job participating, guys. The prizes that we have are legitimately cool. And some of them we straight up didn't have enough like if you just submitted something, you would have gotten a prize.
Yeah, like we had an extra framework mainboard to give away, but only one person entered, so
oh well. Maybe next year.
Maybe next time. Well, we're going to kick things off with a music video from DJ Valkyrie. I believe it's called Cyberdeck. And Helix, if you would cue that up.
My pleasure.
And then we'll be back shortly.
All right, good to go.
I'ma get raw. I'ma get raw. Around the beat, like get raw. I'ma get raw. Around the beat, like I'ma get raw. Around the beat, I'ma get raw. I'ma get raw. I rip you around the beat like I rip you around the beat like I'ma get raw. I'ma get raw. I'ma get raw. I'ma get raw. I rip you around the beat whip you round the beat, like I'm gonna give like I'm gonna get raw.
All right, that was DJ Vulture.
Valkyrie, I think.
Valkyrie, excuse me. That was sick though. The visuals on that were. This is all right. Full disclosure, everyone in chat. That was my first time ever seeing the music video. Pretty dope.
I think that was playthrough number 5 for me. I gotta say, I like it. He's actually a member in the group. Built a awesome Cyberdeck, which was featured in that music video. He's got a whole lot of other really cool music videos. We'll be playing 1 or 2 more of them tonight as well, and linking out to his channel too. You guys should really check it out. It's some cool stuff. I believe we have a quick word from one of our sponsored. What is this we got here? Lucid sleep disorder. No, LSD. I don't know. Just play it.
All right.
I haven't actually watched this yet.
We'll see what happens.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Are we good?
Run it.
All right.
Well. All right then.
That was interesting. What was that called again?
LSD simulator.
An LSD simulator. I can definitely see why. I don't know why the audio didn't go through with that one. I think we were experiencing some technical difficulties, but
Well, that's a different show. We can't have any of those here.
no. That's what episode would this be? This would be episode number
30.
30.
Just make up a number and start from there.
Yeah, that works. That works. All right, cool.
Let's bring on our first guest of the night. He's waiting patiently in the waiting room, in the green room. Rocco.
Well, hey, hi, hello there, gentlemen.
Welcome back again for the umpteenth time.
Thank you. Always great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So, what are you working on these days?
Oh, just the usual, trying to control robots with my brain.
Literally?
Me too.
Yep. Yeah, and actually, it's working. I don't know if you all have heard of the NextMind. It's a BCI device that kind of just sits on the back of your head. It's one of the more comfortable, less obtrusive ones. Just today, on account of the fact that earlier this week I had a little bit of a whoopsie-do where I kind of fell and bumped my head, which kind of makes those devices work a little less good. But yeah, well enough in the head today to get it to actually pick up some of the signals from my brain and control a robotic arm. So we can now control robots with our brains. Yeah, you want to check it out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a serious question?
Yeah. So here's the NextMind device. It literally just sits on the back of your head.
And you're going to move a robotic arm with your brainwaves.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's bananas.
Now you just need to add the tank treads, a mobile platform, and a beer grabber claw.
I mean, we're getting there. It's going to be soon enough. And I will tell you, all of that's going to be possible in kind of short span. The device, it actually gets controlled through Unity. And Unity, I have it controlling an Arduino through serial communication, which was honestly the hardest part of getting this to work. Because Unity and Arduino do not seem to like each other, not easily anyway. But once that was kind of hammered out, the Unity or the NextMind SDK kind of handles everything. You just drag and drop things. There is a visual component to it, so you got to see my pretty eyes with the glasses on here, because otherwise it doesn't really pick up adequately what you're trying to look
Ooh,
at. When we're done
new
showing you
Tinder
kind of what the
profile.
arm. See, I'll give you an idea of what we're seeing on screen as well.
Now, is it
So-
actually doing eye tracking as well then? Which you probably can't hear us when the headphones are off.
So it doesn't necessarily do eye tracking. However, it is a visual. Like there has to be some kind of visual component to it because it's the devices are
Right,
flashing essentially.
You need to look at the screen so that it can read
Yes,
the data that your visual cortex is picking up.
that is correct.
Gotcha.
All right, so it looks like we are connected here.
Now, the robot arm you have, is it one of those Tandy Corp Radio Shack robot arms?
Basically, it's it was entirely overpriced off of Amazon.com. I think you can get the parts and pieces for them for under $100, and you can get them built with the software and everything to go for like $200, which is incredibly overpriced. I did see they have a sale on every once in a while to get like 20 or $40 off. I was able to get it for just over 150. So if you have watch, I wouldn't pay $200 for that, especially since it just comes with, the control board. You don't get any really fun bells and whistles. You got to supply all those yourself. But with
Bring
that
up full screen
said,
here so we can get a better look at this thing.
So it looks like, oh, what?
That looks just like the old Radio Shack robot arm kit that they used to sell, although metal instead of plastic. Same gripper mechanism.
So when you're
Good,
controlling
some
it,
things never change.
do you think the words like rotate right, rotate left, or are you thinking like conceptually of?
are there ways to share any of my screens here? Share screen.
Yes. Where it says present, you
Yep.
should have that option.
Let's see here. Window. Share. So the thing we're actually looking at here is this screen with these three flashing boxes, and I have them connected to a move left, move center, move right. So by concentrating on the flashing, you'll actually see the, if I concentrate on the left one here, you'll see the triangle kind of go to the center and the arm moves to left. We try to focus on our center block here.
We have a question from the audience. How much is the BCI?
So NextMind is not currently producing them at this time. When they were out as a developer kit, the SD or the dev kit was $399 USD. If you can track someone down that has them, I've seen them ranging anywhere from like $300 to $600, but they are kind of few and far between. I actually worked with a gentleman in Germany to get my hands on this one, just because it seems like the company that was producing them is now in talks with either Meta or Oculus, one of those VR companies, to work on integration. So it's kind of at a standstill at the moment with whether or not they're going to make another production run.
It kind of sounds like the Leap Motion controller. It started out cool project, lots of open source potential, and then they started integrating it with Oculus during testing, and it just kind of vanished.
Yeah, which you hate to see, because the fact that this is like you literally sit it on the back of your head, and it's plug and play. It comes with its own kind of like calibration kit and its own like set of apps that they have that are like pre-box, so you can have like a thing that there's music, there's like a video game that comes with it, but it's all pre-kitted out. So it's such an easy plug and play and non-invasive thing. Like you can literally pull off the device itself and sit it into the back of a baseball cap. It's literally that easy to kind of get running, and then you go through a calibration process that takes all of 5 or 10 minutes, and you're set to go. It's because I've seen things like OpenBCI, and I'm a huge fan of the whole BCI field, if you can tell. Things like OpenBCI are great. They're expensive, but they're also not subtle. You'll have you'll have devices literally all over your head on a swim cap looking deal that are. It looks
Right,
very
with all the
beginning of Back to the
probes
Future.
and-
Yeah. So this is nice because
Now-
it's so discreet and
How does this compare to the ones that you wear, like that are on the whatever's left of your arm for a robotic prosthetic?
that actually is a very interesting point. So those connect to like your certain musculature through a EEG device, which I've actually worked with some of those. I have a few of those boards around here somewhere. But they actually pick up on like existing nerve signals for existing motion. So if you're missing a hand and you are trying to use a prosthetic hand, it's relying on the nerves that you had that would have been going to your hand prior to its amputation, say. The thing that I find cool about BCI and how that can be used specifically in the field of prosthetics, there's a woman, Danny Claude, and she's the inventor of like the extra thumb that you can wear, so you have 2 thumbs on each hand, which I think is a really cool design. It is controlled, however, by your toes, and she does a lot of work with like neurologists
Whoa.
to and like cool concept. But what if you're missing your feet, or what if you're paralyzed from the waist down? It's a cool concept, and they're working on like remapping your brain to have like different parts of your body function as different other parts of your body. But what if you want to add something, and what if you don't want to double up on a part of your body that may or may not be working properly, or that you may not have adequate agility with? Why not have it to where you can stare at something or concentrate on something and work on a part of your brain that isn't necessarily mapped to a body part to control a new body part?
Yeah, it makes sense. What if you never had use of your limbs to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a trip. Someone in the chat was asking, could you use it to control an FPV drone? And I think that's super cool because it's a pretty well documented experience that when you're flying around and you're doing all these like acrobatics or whatever in a quad, it's a bit of an out of body experience. Like
Coming up in testing next.
Perfect. Okay, you answered my question, but like, I can't imagine what kind of experience that would be for someone that
We're
maybe
gonna
was a
If we're pulling
quadriplegic.
out drones, then my latest
All right, whip them out.
creation.
Nice.
But yeah, talk about such a liberating experience for
Oh
someone that
yeah.
is, quadriplegic to suddenly be like, okay, with my mind, I'm going to enter this FPV and experience the rest of the world. Like that's
I mean,
pretty
if you
sick.
had a more automated platform, something like the DJI Mavic or something, where it's more or less just flying itself, and then you could tell it to go forward, go back, up, down,
Yep.
Or maybe just
Yeah,
move the gimbal around.
You would need some kind of assistance or like a second man to fly it with you as it is right now, just because it is a little slow if you aren't calibrated properly, or if there's a delay. And this is Bluetooth to a computer that's 3 feet from me. I would imagine if you're flying like a kilometer away from where you're at, you would have a little more difficulty as far as like signal propagation goes, but it's on its way there. And that's something that definitely is something I foresee in the future, where you would be, I mean, just like you're flying. And the one thing that I would like to do next, as far as like next steps with this kind of project, is see if we can get this into like a AR display or a heads up first person display, so that we can have people interacting with their day-to-day life and have that flashing box come up in what they're just seeing ordinarily, so they can do whatever type of interaction they need with whatever kind of robotics it's attached to. And that kind of folds in well with that FPV space, because you've already got the headset on. If you can overlay those like the signal blocks with what you're seeing already, then you can basically control certain aspects of that device without the need to hit something on a controller.
That's a very fun little project you got there. And you said you gave yourself a concussion, so you got to experience the difficulties of being partially, momentarily disabled.
Yeah, funnily enough, on a hard case that a drone was being stored in. But
We've all been
yeah,
there.
it's funny because it's slower, but it still works. Like even with a little head contusion thing going, like you just got to concentrate a little harder. Because I think if it's anything that deals with like light sensitivity or like your optics is what is mainly going to throw it off. But as soon as you can kind of hone in on it, and it's a skill too. Like if you kind of know how to do it and you practice it enough, you can do it much more quickly than the first time you've ever kind of plugged into it. But it's once you get in that groove, it's like easy to kind of bim bam boom back and forth.
Could you move the robot around a little bit more?
I can.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
And now the second contusion.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've been practicing a ton in terms of like getting the dexterity down for that thing. But like what have you practiced picking up? Are there like degrees of difficulty for things that you pick up with that thing?
So picking up is next. I have it moving in right now because I was trying to get this in under the wire before Virtcon started today. I just have a left, right, and center movement. This is a 6 degree of freedom arm. So you can get anything from, I think I've got the actual control for the arm up here. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we can add your screen as well.
Oop, there we go. So yeah, the 3 boxes are basically just left, right, and center, but the armature itself can go from the base to we should nail it down. But it's each of the individual kind of points of the arm, as well as the. Come on now.
So now you're focusing on these different blocks. Is each block the thing that's actually controlling each function?
No, so those blocks are basically pre-configured. Yeah, actually check out the Arduino code here. Pre-configured motions. If we can get you to a screen here, let's present just the entire screen right here. So that screen, it just should be popping up. Should show you some Arduino code as well as a robot armature. So basically, if it's setting out, in the way that the code works on the Unity side, it's just setting out the L, R, or C commands serially to the Arduino. If the Arduino receives an L, it moves it to this configuration on the arm. If it receives a C, it moves it to the center configuration. If it receives an R, it moves it to pointing everything to the right. Basically translated to, let's put this up here.
So what is the literal thought that's going through your head when you're sending it commands? Yeah.
It's kind of, it's not like words, but if you see the dots blinking, I try to like sync the rhythm of my thoughts with the blinking in the background of those.
Like the little rotating triangle doodads?
If you see behind the triangle, kind of on the same thing, it's like little lines that are kind of flashing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that picks it up. That's what I'm trying to focus on. And the triangle is an indicator of whether or not you're actually picking up the, like if it's picking up the thoughts that are associated with that blinking, which is why I said there has to be like an optical component of it, because if I do this without my glasses on, it never reads it because I can't see the blinking. It's just all blurry. But if you can actually kind of get your mind in tune with the blinking of the dots, then you'll see the triangle will slowly start to constrict. And
does it always have to be used with the visual?
I believe so. I haven't had it work without it, and it doesn't specifically state in any of the SDK documentation that it does, but I've yet to see any cases without it needing, or with it not needing that visual stimuli.
Comment from the crowd here. I'm building a 4-button macro pad with 16 layers. I'm just gonna stop right there. 16 layers? Really?
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah.
Don't have a
Hats off to
4x4,
you.
16.
That's
Yeah,
Ooh.
beautiful.
How about
I would like
16
to-
buttons and 4 layers?
Yeah, but what switches are you using, Mike Full? Huh?
Now, I'd
Is
be
it harder to use while live streaming? Splitting concentration.
Yeah. If you see me like what I'm trying to concentrate on and I stop talking, it's because I'm trying to like do that like like rhythm in my head. And I'm not good enough of a
Interesting.
musician to like sing and play guitar at the same time, basically.
This is really turning into like, not only is there a bit of an art to it, but like I'll bet you there's going to be people that are going to have an aptitude for this, you know, and it's going to be like, hey, how compatible are you with the Matrix, quote unquote?
It's
to
like,
go-
hey, I can type with 10 fingers and use my brain to control stuff and work even faster than the next guy.
It's not that far from the beginning of Ghost in the Shell where they split their fingers apart to type.
There you go.
Nice. Well, that is pretty freaking cool. Like, I have never gotten to see one of those demonstrated live either. Watched a couple of videos maybe a year or two ago when it came out.
Yeah.
Very cool little item there.
So
Yeah,
Rocco,
definitely
Well,
fascinating stuff.
where do the people in chat, or where do the people at large go to find you and your projects?
Oh, Project Time, which I have not posted in quite some time due to scope slipperiness. Like, scope creep is the killer of my free time.
Sure.
I was like a year ago, basically, I think in October, I was working on a video on trying to optimize the workflow and workspace, how important like cleanliness and organization and just tabulating everything is, which kind of turned into I'm doing this, I need more hard drive space. Look at all these counterfeit hard drives out there. I should do a video on counterfeit electronics and how to spot them. And then, I need a drone to film a scene for that, so I should build a drone. And then the next thing you know, I'm doing a robotic arm. But
hey,
Project
videos take time. That's why we haven't live streamed in a while either.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Project Time, I'm sure there's a link around somewhere. If not, I'll throw it up here in a bit. And I do give away electronics. The point of the channel is for people to have great ideas, to get some help turning them into actual things. I'm an engineer with years of experience doing like robotics and gizmometers and stuff. So if I can help people kind of bring their dreams to life, let's do it.
The old gizmometer, just like Grandpa used to make. That's awesome. All right, cool. So next we have another sponsor who was kind enough to make. Well, yeah, they're sponsoring this stream. Definitely sponsoring this stream.
Sponsoring this next sponsor segment.
All right. This next sponsor is from Neuronet Opticortical Interface, which is such a great segue from Rocco's.
Especially since it's basically the same device.
Yeah.
In a slightly more compact form factor.
I really like that it started off as this is meant to be like a futuristic or a retrofuturism thing, but Rocco's showing us that, like, no, it's literally yeah. I'll shut up, let you guys watch it.
Roll the tape, no spoilers.
No spoilers. All right, good.
Are you tired of the same old methods and tools? Are you tired of losing control over your time and work? Neuronet Industries has the solution for you. Introducing the Neuronet Opticortical Interface. With its advanced artificial intelligence, the Neuronet Opticortical Interface will revolutionize the way you live, work, and play. It will monitor your every move and provide you with real-time data and insights, allowing you to optimize your life like never before. So, are you ready to take control? And upgrade your life with Neural Industries. The future is coming.
Thank you, Neuronet Industries.
Thank you indeed.
That was cool. I think my favorite part is typing on a keyboard with no display. That's
It's just in your brain, you know?
yeah, that's a fair
Just
point.
direct retinal projection from somewhere off screen.
Although it did look like those were real components on his glasses. I wonder if it's an actual functional build that does something, or if it's just like, oh, I had this leftover like voltage converter or something, and glue wires onto something else.
It could be
The
freeze
thing
frame
it
on the board.
does
too,
is
but,
we could deconstruct the entire product. We'll reverse engineer it.
I was gonna say a little reverse engineering wouldn't hurt.
I do actually own a pair of retinal projectors. The Glyph retinal projector. It's kind of a failed FPV goggle from like 7 years ago, back when DJI had a HDMI output on the controller, and you plug that into your goggles. Really cool device though. Beautiful image. No screen effect, no black dots, because it's actually a DLP, dual DLP projector.
Ooh.
Full color, 720. Yeah, cool little device. I actually had two of them. Sold one of them to someone in the group. You can still get them on eBay for maybe like $150. Overall, great flying experience. Latency is a little bit high, and the color fringing on the edges when you move your eyes a little bit, you get that like DLP projector color fringing. But really a cool display to use. Lydia was on the last Virtcon. Actually, she wore that the entire event. That was actually her display, while like bumbling around the room trying to see under it.
That's sick. So latency to an FPV pilot means something different than it might mean to me. Like, what kind of latency are you talking about?
Worse than VR. Like, you need low latency, high frame rate. This is like 60 FPS and 200 millisecond latency.
Okay.
So it's not great. It's okay. It's good enough. You can fly with it. But it's,
yeah, but
things
I'm
have
a
gotten
normie.
better.
I don't have a quad, so to me, like 200 milliseconds is still might be
Hey,
kind
you
of
watch it,
noticeable. Yeah.
watch a movie or something. You're not going to know that there's any latency as long as your audio's in sync.
Definitely.
For anyone that needs a heads-up display, though, like a good one, that is probably the cheapest binocular, dual display that you can get your hands on. I think the Viewfinde's like 200, and that's only a monocle. So go deplete the eBay reserves.
Yeah, definitely. And having a display that just like projects onto your eyeballs burns way less electricity than your 72-inch 144 hertz giga gamer machine.
And it has brightness adjustment. The lowest brightness setting is said to be too bright for some people, but I say go outside. You need to go outside more. Your eyes need to adjust to daylight, what's it called? The Glyph retinal projector.
Glyph with a Y, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Glyph with a Y. You can find them on eBay pretty much nowhere else.
Yeah, weird. It's weird that like a little branch of tech like retinal projection, it's a sci-fi thing. Someone actually built it and then just kind of fizzled out. Hopefully it makes a comeback soon.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of fizzled out. The company now makes like industrial heads-up displays for the military and stuff. Like they went on to bigger, better things.
Right. Cool.
And someone from it founded the company, or partially founded, I think it was Fat Shark, one of the big FPV companies. So like they're still around. They continued and thrived, even though they failed miserably at this product.
What was
thing weighs like 3 pounds.
What was the camera that you had that you can adjust the focal length, or you can adjust something like after the picture has been taken?
The Lytro. Yeah, I had their 5 megapixel version, the Lytro light field camera. That was like an early attempt at doing variable focus, like post focusing. Now you just do it in software because all that AI shit's so powerful now.
Yeah.
But that actually took, I think it took like 5 images from different focal lengths and then stacked them. Another terrible product that just didn't really work, but had a really cool concept behind it.
Definitely.
I was gonna say failure is kind of subjective when you go up to end up founding like Fat Shark afterwards, because I mean,
Right,
huge player, and
exactly.
you can. I'm looking at the glyph right now, and you can definitely see the kind of like the similarity or the design similarities between the form factor of some of the Fat Sharks places, like the band.
hmm
It's very cool stuff.
It makes me
I
think
will
like
add
if
one
you
more thing to that. The when I disassembled mine, because I built mine into a 3D printed case, because it's really bulky and uncomfortable if you have a large skull. It squeezes very tight. It was made for someone with a very small head. Inside, there's 2 pieces of artwork on the screen printing on a PCB in an area that is not user serviceable, that was never meant to be seen. One of them is a Banksy. It's a robot with a spray can. The other one is Lionel Richie. Lionel is in the left ear, L for Lionel, and I don't know. I guess it's R for robot in the right ear.
That's too
I
funny.
actually I kept those. I kept those PCBs because the artwork on it's just too cool. Got them somewhere around here.
yeah,
So
wasn't the
whoever included that in the design, the designer who put that in there, uh, good job.
yeah,
Someone finally found it.
drop us an email. We'll say thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll send you a sticker.
weird little developer Easter eggs like that, like a silk screen that no one's ever gonna see unless they like do a teardown or
On the Raspberry Pi 4, if you remove it's either under the USB port or the Ethernet jack. I don't remember. It's under one of those. Is the signature of the person who designed the board
that's sick.
still screened onto it, completely hidden under that component?
That's beautiful.
I love little Easter eggs like that.
An
Yeah.
IRL Easter egg. That's cool.
Let's jump into the next scene. Why don't we pull up some of the contests and talk about the contests we had running, and then maybe show some of the results of it.
That works for
Why
me.
don't we start with the puzzle, the longest running and quickest solved puzzle of all time?
Oh man, the scavenger hunt. So this was an interesting one. So putting it together was a bit of a chore. I'm responsible like entirely. So any kind of like critiques or whatever, hit me up in the Discord. There was already like quite a bit of discussion about like what questions were technically wrong and which ones
Any
needed like
complaints? DM Helix at 3 a.m.
yeah, DM me at 3 a.m. See what happens. Definitely won't ban you. Definitely. But no, it was great. It was a 50-step scavenger hunt that I think 2, maybe 3 people saw through to the end. And it was a bunch of random stuff. Like there was trivia from anime, like what was this person's original last name? Or there was, because we build cyberdecks and cyberdecks are used by netrunners, which is the 80s version of a hacker. So let's talk about, neuromancer stuff where like the main character is using a cyberdeck or just random trivia like that. Or even like, oh man, there was trivia about you. I want to say Boot. Or there was one thing about me where it was like, what is the one thing that I say every cyberdeck needs? And it forced people to trawl through all of our history, or at least hook it up to an API or something. But I hope you guys had fun with it. The final step was to rickroll Boot and
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
sent.
that one.
Yeah, I didn't know if you actually read the final step when I sent it to you to be like, hey man, this is what I put together. What do you think? And you're like, yeah, it looks good. But the guy that ended up winning was Zach, or Make and Modify on Instagram. He was the first guy to send me. He finished all 50 steps, got through all the encrypted zip files, and sent Boot the or he rickrolled him and sent me a screenshot of it. So good job, Zach, with an X. Let's see, what did you win? Oh no, that's the project logs. For the scavenger hunt, the prize. You know what? I don't think we posted a prize. I'll give you something cool.
We didn't say
Oh.
in the scavenger gift cards, I believe.
That's right. I misspoke. So Adafruit actually, shout outs to Adafruit. They actually donated a $100 gift card to us. And it seems most fitting that Zach wins this because I don't know that we'd be able to afford to ship him any of the other prizes. So congrats. Congratulate Zach in the Discord. Ask him about the puzzle. If you guys actually want to like go through the puzzle after the fact and see what kind of questions there were, or if you have ideas for the next scavenger hunt, it's still up. The zip file, like you can still get the zip file. It's only like 15 megabytes, I want to say. It's tiny. And
Yeah,
then
it still exists if you want to just play the puzzle just for fun. Do it.
yeah. So yeah, congrats, Zach. You won $100 of Adafruit stuff, and I think they ship from the UK too. So like, they have stock there. It's not like you're buying stuff in America and getting it shipped over, I think. But yeah, congrats.
Cool. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that was
congrats.
a pretty cool one. I followed along a little bit with it. I was actually very busy that month while I was running, so I didn't get to really participate, and I probably wouldn't have gone very far anyway, because I'm terrible at those. It looked like a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah, what were you busy doing again? Where are you coming to us live
Moving.
from?
Yeah, I've relocated to a tropical island where I now reside, and so does the Cyberdeck Cafe.
It's mind-blowing to me that like you're actually living out this dream of getting like a satellite enabled treehouse to like run the cafe from. Bananas, dude.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much. We do have Starlink over here, and if I wasn't streaming right now, I've got about a 6-minute walk to the beach, so
That is amazing.
it is fun. That's why I'm so tan. Instead of that sickly pasty white as
I was going to
usual.
say that's a relative term, man. Like the audience that you're in. Any melanin at all makes you tanner than like all of us. Okay, so the next talk we've got coming up is let me see if I get this pronunciation right. It's from PP Pick P Me, who developed their own password hash cracker. If you don't know what a hash cracker is, let's say you have a Ponagachi, one of those cute little, it's like a Tamagotchi, but it breaks into Wi-Fi kinda for you. What it's doing is collecting hashes, but those hashes need to be cracked. And this guy built his own, and he was so professional that he even made a slideshow for us. So that's what's coming up next.
And he kept it under the required time limit too.
Yeah, what a rule
which
follower.
is appreciated.
It is actually appreciated. All right, I'm ready to go.
All right, just pull it up live. Full screen. I can do it. And we're going to mute out our mics as well for this.
Sounds good.
So, hello and welcome to my password hash cracker. So to start off, let me start by giving you a basic explanation of what a hash is. So a hash is simply a method of representing any data as a unique string of characters. You can hash words, phrases, including music, movies, or your name. So in a sense, hashing is like a method of assigning a name to your data. It enables you to take any length of input and convert it into a string of characters that is always the same length. So there are several hashing algorithms to accomplish this. So some of the most common ones are the MD5, SHA1, and the SHA256. So the MD5 returns a 32-character hash, the SHA1 returns a 40-character hash, and the 256 returns a 64-character hash. So as you can see over here, this hashing algorithm is designed by the NSA. So why is hashing secure, and why are passwords usually stored in the form of hashes? So as you can see over here, what hashes do is it takes a normal string, for example, Jamie Becker over here. It goes through the hashing algorithm and it outputs a hash over here, which is this random collection. It's not random, but yeah, this jumbled mess of characters over here. So So the thing is, this hash is quite hard to reverse engineer to get the original character. So let me show you how hashes can be cracked. So let me start my program. So my program has several functionalities, but just for the sake of showcasing you the hashes, let me just show you one. Crack a hash using a word. So let me get an example hash over here. So for example, let's say your password is password. So let me copy the hash over here, insert the hash over here, then boom, the password is cracked. So as it turns out, the password is password. So how does my program accomplish this? So what hackers usually do is they get a really long list of the most commonly used passwords over here. So as you can see, the password is over here. So what they do is they go through each password in this text list, make it go through the hashing algorithm, and then it checks if the resulting hash is the same as the hash you're trying to crack. So you might think then, well, if they're that easy to crack, why even use hashes in the first place? Well, the thing is, they're not. So let me show you a practical example of if you use a secure password, your hash will be quite impossible to crack. So I made a basic login system here. It doesn't log into anything. So if I choose special mode, it says please enter master key. So the master key hash is stored in this txt file in this form. So let me just wrong. Okay, so I've logged in. So yeah, there's another login system. So list all accounts. So as you can see over here, this is how servers or databases usually stores your usernames and passwords. It stores your username normally, but it stores your password as a hash. So let me just try and let me just create a password. So create an account, enter your username, stuff, enter your password, stuff, password 123. So do you want to continue? Yes. List all accounts. So as you can see over here, the user is added with the username stuff and the password hash over here. So they also get stored over here with the username and the password hashes. So like I said earlier, why are hashes so secure? So you remember the master key I told you about? Let's try to crack it. So insert your hash. So as you can see over here, hash is unable to be cracked. Why is this so? Well, it's because my password is not within this super long list of passwords. It's a very unique and secure password. So yeah, that's my program. If you want my program source code, I'll try uploading it to my GitHub when I have the time. So yeah, that's about it. So here are the references I used. And if you want to contact me, feel free to contact me at pppigvme number 0872 on Discord. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, PP Pick P. Damn it, dude. You need a different username. But that was thanks for the presentation. That's like one of the founding concepts when you're getting into infosec is like, hey, getting access to someone's account, one of the easiest ways to do it is to get a hold of their password. And that was a really great description of like, okay, when someone has your hash, what are they going to try and do? Are they going to try and do a dictionary attack like what he was doing? Are they going to try and brute force it? Is an attacker maybe going to go after the algorithm that it was hashed in? There's a lot of different ways of going about it, and man, and this guy he had a slideshow. He had like works cited and everything. That was cool. Good job.
Yep, and pretty much the only one who actually answered our call for request to have some recorded videos about the projects they're working on, except for also Glennek, who we will be showing here shortly. How about a little music break, and then we'll dive into Glennek's Cyberdeck.
Perfect. So this song is also by DJ, remind me, Valkyrie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, let me pull it up here. All right, it's about 5 minutes long. Enjoy, guys.
And we're
DJ
back.
Good job.
DJ Valkyrie, man. Loving these tracks. I have not even listened to all of them yet. And yeah, he's got quite a playlist. Like
And I think
30, 40 tracks up.
I think they're on YouTube.
They are. I'll find the link for that so that we can drop that in chat.
Cool.
It's really good. I know on the intro or the login for this, it gives you the chance to activate stereo versus mono with the echo canceling. Well worth it to listen to that in stereo.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the left and right. It was really cool to listen with headphones on.
Is
Yep.
that why the audio is a bit off though? Do we maybe have it feeding through with like echo cancellation running?
It's echo canceled by default. If you go into like settings and audio, you have to turn that off to turn on stereo. And it could be like a missync between that.
Dropping a link for his channel here in chat, so anyone wants to check it out, give him a sub, check out the other videos. There's some, yeah, they're all cool. I have yet to find a track I didn't want to listen to twice.
Yeah, it was really good.
Definitely. And we had a lot more contests, I think. Which one should we talk about next, Boot?
How about, let's see, we start at the bottom of the list. We're jumping around a bit here. So we've gone through the scavenger hunt. Let's jump into Spider's deck. Spider Jerusalem from Transmetropolitan, a journalist with integrity. Really my favorite comic book series. That's why I picked it for the theme. And this one, I didn't really give anyone a lot of time to work on it either. This was a 2-week flash challenge, as in nobody knew it was going to happen until it suddenly happened. We only got one entry, but it's well enough because they absolutely nailed it. BuildBoy5555 not only designed the entire thing, but printed all of it, and it's not a small deck. Sanded, filled, body filled, painted, got the color match just right, and assembled the entire thing per the instructions, all in that 2-week period. And honestly, if I had been running my printer 24/7 for those 2 weeks, it probably would have just barely spit out all of those parts, assuming no failures in that time. Helix, you want to pull up the Spiders Deck channel that we can share?
Yeah, sure.
Build Boy posted up plenty of pictures. All of the STLs are there as well, including the even put in the Rust-Oleum color match color, which is winter gray, and it does look to be dead on to the comic book.
Yeah, I saw that. I was super impressed with the accuracy. It looks, like you said, it looks like they pulled it right out of the comic.
Mm-hmm. And for this contest, the rules were pretty simple. It was build Spider's deck, so Spider Jerusalem, the character. And the deck changes throughout the comic book. It's not the same in every single one. They're similar, but there's little changes. I don't know if he's just supposed to be getting upgrades or just lazy drawing by the art department. But there is sort of a general theme to it. Keyboard keycaps that look sort of like a typewriter. The laptop itself just looks like a thick old ThinkPad, but gray. And yeah, like I said, you really nailed it. The contest was specifically to build it with enough space for a framework mainboard, which is the prize for the contest. So that way, when the thing's done, and if you win, then you'll get that mainboard to put right into the thing and fire it up. And that is the prize. Got himself the 11th Gen i5 model of the Framework mainboard, which was kindly donated by Framework. We really appreciate that because it fits the what we're building here so perfectly. I have one myself that they gave me last year, and I have used it in quite a few different projects. It's a very interesting thing because most motherboards that you pull out of a laptop have kind of weird cutouts and shapes, and a lot of daughter boards you have to connect with ribbon cables. This thing is just a nice rectangle with 4 USB ports, and you don't have to have anything else. So I do like playing with it in the designs. So
And I think
that's the
this was
color match.
this was another one of those contests that, yeah, great job on the color match. Oh, and bonus points for putting in like a build log. I know I'm a I don't know, a psychopath for build logs and like parts lists and that kind of thing, but it's tough when you're going into the like page 10 of Google searches, you find exactly like someone else who built what you kind of want to build something like, and then they have no parts list, they have no directions. It's just kind of like, hey, look at this thing I made. Good luck building your own. But this way is like when you have a build log, it's kind of like handing off to the next people that want to build one. It's like, hey, here's what worked for me, and then that's how we like iterate on getting better and better and better builds. So yeah, the STL files are in under the Virtcon category in the contests forum under the Cyberdeck. You can get the STLs yourself. You can print them out. Yeah, great job.
You want to scroll down the list a bit. There's the actual build photos. So like he was literally printing these yesterday and sanding, filing, going through it. I was chatting with him and he asked when the cutoff was for it, and I was like, well, it's today. And he's poor guy thought it was a day sooner than it was. So hopefully he got some sleep last night and did not stay up working on it.
Sleep is for the weak. This is another one of the contests though where we had more prizes than we had people enter. I want to say
this is true. Framework offered several of the main boards, but we only had one entry for it, so we've got one winner for it too.
Cool. Well, congrats, Build Boy Quad 5. That's it's really cool, and the fact that you even went through the effort of like matching the colors, extra attention to detail, perfection. Good job, dude.
Yeah, and looking forward to seeing it completed. With the main board installed and display and all that. I do believe he's going to continue the project on until it's done. All right, what do we have next now?
Also, just as a side note, to anyone that hasn't read Transmetropolitan, read it. That is an awesome comic book. Like, can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, I will mention that if you look in our media books channel and look at pinned messages, you can find Transmetropolitan. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and it's one of those comic books that I would buy just to have like on my bookshelf. It's pretty sick.
I actually have the complete series.
I bet
they
you do.
have them as reprint comics, the pretty standard kind of smaller ones that you get nowadays. I've only managed to pick up like 5 duplicate of them. Just randomly buy them at every comic book store I go to. I think there's 62 of them. I think that's the total. I'm still missing a couple though. Still missing like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, working on it. It's no fun to just go on eBay and like buy all of the ones you want specifically. It's a lot more interesting to actually go hunt them down.
It's basically cheating, just getting them off eBay. You got to find them in the wild, man.
If you're gonna do that, go buy the omnibus and get the 3 editions and just skip it. Yeah,
there's something to be said for actually walking into the brick and mortar comic book shops. Like, not just to discover new comic books that maybe you never saw before, but like to talk to the other people that like the story so much that they're also there. Like, just meet the different cast of characters that you're going to run into in comic book stores. You won't
Let's face it,
regret
nobody
Yep.
in comic book stores talks to anybody.
Yeah.
I've tried. Once in a while though, you get someone that really knows their stuff, and yeah, it's fun. And plus, people ask like, where do you find these cool stickers? That's where you go into random places that have random weird shit on the walls, and you exchange money for it.
This is the way.
I actually, if you go, we don't have to bring it up, but the first image there in that contest for Spider's Deck, that is a picture of the cover of my comic book, which I did not put in the storage and brought with me to Puerto Rico, so I could take that picture so that we could do the contest. Although I could have just taken the picture before I moved and used it anyway, now that I think about it. But I brought that one with me because really that's the best cover, and I want that up on the wall. Like,
Yeah, it looks so good. It's
a piece of artwork.
that Vertigo art style where you see it's a lot of those indie comics where it's not like that standard Marvel or DC just superhero, everyone like rage muscled out from the 90s and shit. It's that very kind of like madcap. I don't know. I love the art style in the comic there too.
Yeah, it gives me I was getting like Watchmen. If you ever read the Watchmen comic book, I was getting those kinds of vibes from Transmetropolitan. And by the way, like everyone in the chat, if you haven't read the Watchmen comic book, ignore the movie. Read the comic book. It is
yes. Ignore the movie.
Ignore the movie. It's something that like you put down the book and you're like, dude, it takes a little bit of time for you to like process that your brain just went through that journey. It's kind of a heavy read. Like if you're ready for something that's like gonna hit you a little bit, pick up honestly both of these.
Yeah, really. And if you're a fan of cyberpunk in any way, shape, or form, I haven't found anything that beats Transmetropolitan for the art style, the story, the cast. There's a lot there. It's not just a comic book. It really should have been a book, but then you wouldn't have had the amazing artwork. And just to top it off, it's Patrick Stewart's favorite comic book, and he wanted to play the main character and tried to get that greenlit for a very long time until he basically aged out of the part. Not that he's too old to play the part, because Spider's supposed to be old as dirt. It's just Patrick Stewart has bad knees and he just can't do it anymore, even if he wanted to, oh, hey, Player 2 has popped in. What's up?
Player 2 is Player 4.
Welcome to the stream.
There we go.
Yeah. That's better. No, I can't.
If I don't know,
but that's fine.
If I knew this was going to be a theme, I would try to like put some shades on my avatar or something. But
or like wear a helmet over your face.
Oh yeah. Maybe that might. Oh man, it's so not ready though. I think I'm going to save that for a technical difficulties.
Well, Player 2, you're just in time. We're going to play the next video.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Although, wait, before we do that, since you did just join in, you want to show everyone what you were showing us earlier? Your BD device?
Yeah.
Is it ready?
I can. It's not that ready, but I can pull it up. It's still falling apart, but that's fine.
Aren't we all?
1 second.
It's the key note of a good project there,
Hey Rocco, can you debug my my Python script?
Sure.
Real quick, just real quick when you're looking at my avatar, give it a quick debug.
Just give it to Chat GPT; it'll do it for you.
Dude, I tried that. Chat GPT is good, but not perfect.
Do it for you with about 70% accuracy.
Yeah. It's nice,
Which
but then
is how I like it. I don't want it to be that good, honestly.
I would take all the fun out of it.
No, it would just take all the humanity out of existing,
Hey man, we're on the path. If people are like falling in love with the AI, like they're AI dating, I don't know. We live in strange times, brother.
Yeah.
I
All
feel
right, now
like
that
the Japanese are
that
the
is
first ones to
creepy.
marry an AI.
I love it.
That definitely has that German villain look
You look
to
like
it.
you harvest organs. Just kidding.
Maybe I do.
That is super
I'm
cool.
just kidding. I'm just harvesting hardware.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
all just
that.
hardware.
Components.
Oh, and this one was off of Thingiverse, right? Someone
this
put up like
thing is
a
off
more or less
Thingiverse.
complete.
This thing is off Thingiverse, but I kind of tuned it because I got myself an ESP32, or this is an ESP 8266 actually, so I can hook up my phone to it and control some bullshit because I have. First of all, this
Absolutely.
thing is
If someone else comes on the screen without some cool sunglasses, we're just gonna boo them.
No, we're gonna boot them
There we go.
and harvest their components.
So we were talking about this earlier, I think, but the BD wreath, it's in Cyberpunk 2077. I think Boot, you were saying it's from something else before that, though, isn't it?
Strange Days.
Yeah, the movie Strange Days. I mean, I'm sure it predates other things. And there's probably someone that's going to tell me it was in a book first, or Strange Days was a book. I don't know, but it was a great bad movie, and the entire movie is about BD devices. Brain dance recording straight from the optical nerve, and really a great movie done poorly. If you know what I mean. It was as good as I think it could have been for the time and its budget. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I have probably the best copy of it in existence because I actually ran it through Topaz and did a upscale of a rather lousy digital rip. Not that I pirated it, but I mean the actual movie itself, when it was made digital, was done really shitty. Bad color, bad everything, old school upscaling. Maybe we'll have to have a viewing of it in the cafe again.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
It's cool that you did that. The a lot of movies when they were digitized, it was just a standard one filter for every movie gets passed through.
They came out blue or green.
Yeah.
I mean, when they did Star Wars, when they upscaled and digitized Star Wars, the skies all turned like bluish green. It was terrible. Like,
it's a shame to see like all that work that I'm sure some director of photography put in to get like all these things colored correctly, and then just fed through some machine to be plopped out the other side. And
yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's cool you're going through and you're able to kind of correct that and get it back to what it should have been, how it should be seen.
And in this movie particularly, it did an amazing job. Sometimes the upscaling and color correction it doesn't quite come out right. This one was flawless. Like, seriously impressive how it turned out. It went from being like an 800 megabyte copy of the movie to I think like 15 gigabytes. So it added a lot of data, probably a lot that it didn't really need, could compress back out of it. But yeah, I think we'll be playing that in the cafe again sometime, along with a few others. I've been slowly doing this through a whole collection of good, bad movies that need a bit of a upgrade.
We really should have like a marathon weekend, or maybe we just have like one a week, one every Saturday night.
Well, it takes about 2 days to process each one, so
yeah,
gotta let the GPU cool down once in a while.
Yeah.
If you need more power, I have a 2080. And I also upgraded my CPU last month.
Ew,
well, I'll see your 2080 and raise you a 3060.
It's kind of equal.
Actually, Lydia, on the other hand, said she's got a 3090, so we might just have to...
And weren't
with
the
all the RAM.
40 series, like some of the specs for the 40 series basically the same thing as the 30 series? Like I want to say there was or was it the 3080 Ti that had worse specs than the 3080?
I don't know, but I did hear they were having a fire sale with those 40 series.
Yeah,
well, I
believe
think
it.
you're right. Some of the 40 series were the same spec-wise or similar enough spec-wise to where they would have been priced at about the same, and then you account for inflation and everything, and it's basically a wash, which is why they're doing a lot of those fire sales.
Yeah. Oh well. At least it's not.
That was just a joke. They were catching fire.
Oh, well, that too. I mean,
literally catching fire. But
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know some places can't get rid of them
Shit
fast
slip,
enough because they
y'all.
don't. I mean, they're not worth having on shelves.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, why spend that much money for something that's maybe 1% better than half its price?
Yep.
Yeah.
The LED pulsing thing here is just like, that is some serious villain shit right there.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Along with
this thing
the
is
spinning
controlling
Nintendo, it all fits pretty good.
You want to know something like very Illuminati about the spinning Nintendo logo? It's the Nintendo 64 logo, right?
Mm.
But did you know that there's 64 facets? Like there's 64 planes on the Nintendo logo, and there's 64 corners as well as planes on that logo.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a really fun fact. I gotta check it. I will check. I will check it.
It's like, I'm gonna start counting 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Now, I think in Blender there should be a tool, because I made this animation with Blender. This one. I actually made all of these with Blender. I actually made that one a sticker.
Oh, but you didn't make a commercial, huh?
That's true. I didn't have time for it. I'm sorry.
I'm teasing. I'm just teasing.
Next time.
More power to you for doing all that in Blender. For whatever reason, there's like a block in my brain. I've tried to approach Blender 3 or 4 times, and I can't do it.
Yeah, took me also like 3 to 4 approaches, and the first 3 were like, the first one was like just snoping out of it because I was so overwhelmed with the UI and shit, having too many buttons, and just felt like if someone would set you in an airplane and you're like, they like,
especially for like free software too. You're thinking it's going to be not that, and then you're just like, whoa.
No, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then the second time I approached it was like, okay, I have this idea. I want to rotate this cube one by 90 degrees on the z-axis first, and then by 90 degrees on the x-axis. And I think it was around 14 that time, and not that smart. I just watched a YouTube tutorial about keyframing and shit, and yeah, I just sat there, just went like 3 frames ahead, and put the one keyframe of the cube rotating like 1 to 3 degrees. And essentially, it took me 2 hours to get a cube that just rotates like this and then like this.
YouTube tutorials are a hell of a drug.
Yeah, Blender is one of the 3 reasons that I actually got myself a new graphics card. Blender
same.
doing AI renderings locally and video edits. Really the only reason I went for it. Not to say I haven't played a couple of video games too, just to see what it would do, but definitely that's the bottom of the list.
Purely for research purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah. Research.
All right, let's go ahead and fire up Glenex's video, and I want to talk about this one a bit too when the video has played. I think this one runs also 10 minutes.
Just shy 10 minutes, yeah.
Perfect. Love it when they actually do that.
Yeah.
No 20-minute videos. It just can't do it.
I'm Glinek, and this is my Virtcon entry. As you can see, my Virtcon entry is my deck, but I have few extra things prepared for it. But starting from the very beginning, this is actually my 5th deck, and I wanted it to be better than its predecessors and just be more usable. Compared to my Pocket Way, it has much bigger screen, 10-inch one instead of 7-inch. Huge battery to give me enough juice on the go. A normal keyboard. Additionally, it has a lot of USBs and joystick mouse. But there is one problem with this deck. It does not have any speakers. And it's kind of fragile. I mean, it's good enough for me. I'm obviously not gonna throw it around, but still, compared to Pocket Way, it's very distractible. So up front I have screen, 10-inch screen, battery indicator, and few buttons that are here because I was replacing few keys that are not working on my keyboard. Okay, so on the left side I have just my on the left side I have just my mouse. On the back I have few vents, and actually you can see here my big battery. Then I have one port. In the future I want to put here Ethernet port, but right now I just don't have this port on my hand, so it's just covered. And right here I have DC jack to charge this bad boy, and USB output for charging. And finally on the right side, it's a lot happening here. I have 4 USB 3.0s, few switches, 16 GPIOs, and XT60, if I remember correctly, connector for these mysterious extensions. Okay, so on this deck I'm running Raspbian. Oh fuck. And I want to show you one thing, and I hope I'm not gonna have to run it on my main PC, but we will see. I want to show you software that I made for it. Okay, so this is my software. As I said, it's really early stage, and I'm gonna change it because right now it's using custom Tekinter. I don't have any major problems with it, but it's just not good enough for me and for what I want it to be. So right now I have just weather. I don't know why it's not working. Reminder, some basic system info, RAM usage, upload speed, download speed, date, and stuff. And generally I wanted to look something like this, but completely different. It's something like we were meant to make for Data Decks Part 2, and just Cyberdeck software that could store something. Just my general idea for it is you power your deck on, open this app, and you have everything, most important folders and stuff. Generally just some really useful app for your deck. And when it's done, I plan to release it on my GitHub. Okay, so extensions. First one is power supply module. It goes right into this XT60 connector. It's not really a great idea to use this cheap LM2596 converters, if I remember correctly, to make a power supply in it, but it's good enough for me. I just wanted to have something in between 10, 12 and 1 volt, and that's what I have here. And honestly, I never plan to use it, run it over 1 amp. So the last thing that I have prepared, the last module, is something that I'm most proud of. because the last module is digital Arduino oscilloscope. And it sounds and looks really hard to make, but actually the general idea is pretty simple. You just read the voltage on analog pin and then display it using Arduino Cellular Plotter. That's basically it. It looks more complicated because I thought, why not make different voltage ranges? So I had to make voltage dividers, and to switch between these voltage dividers, I need to use transistors. So generally, a lot of this is here only because I wanted it to be more useful. And yeah, right here I have button just to switch to just change voltage ranges. 4 pins for reference voltage, 3 pins to actually measure this voltage, and another 4 pins as I2C output. And fun fact, this is actually my third design and second PCB. The first one looked like this and it was working. The only problem is that transistor wasn't. Because I have wired something wrong in a wrong order and stuff, so I could only measure max 5 volts, but now everything is working without any problems. And yeah, I also changed the potentiometer to a button because it's just more slim and it seems to me it looks much better. So right now I want to show you how it works. Just give me a second. Plotter. Yeah, okay. 1 and 2. No, no, no. No. Oh, that's why. Why is it so low? So, as you can clearly tell by my reaction, it shouldn't look exactly like this, but generally it's working. I have Arduino putting PWM signal, and it's displaying the signal using Arduino Plotter. The only thing that I have to make for it, the only thing, additionally, I want to create custom software to display it more clearly, and have few functions like stopping this diagram, moving it up and down, left, right, and stuff. But I don't know when I want to do this because honestly, I have so many projects right now. It's gonna be pretty hard, but I think I may just on holidays or something. As I said, I'm gonna raise it on GitHub, and in a few days after Virtcon, I should have oscilloscope on GitHub, if not already, as well as Cyberdeck. I'm
Very cool.
Damn, that was cool. The what's it called when what's that one keyboard that has the trackpad on one side and it has the left mouse click on the other? It's the Logitech. I'm looking for the model number right now because I have like 2 or 3 of them in my office. But like that kind of like removing the trackpad from the keyboard and then putting it on the side of your deck, I think is I don't think I've seen it before in like a home brewed deck, and I love it. And even the fact that it was like drifting to the right a little bit, I don't know that that speaks to me. Really cool work.
Yeah, really. The modular design too, like that, it really is the way to do it, because these projects, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of time, a lot of effort. You make a mistake somewhere, and you cause problems down the line, down the chain of hardware. If you can just break apart into smaller projects, like you complete the power supply, that's a win for you. You've accomplished something. You can move on to the next block and the next block instead of trying to take on such a monumental thing all at once. That lets you get little pieces accomplished along the way, and maybe make other changes without having to go back and redo the whole thing.
Yeah, you hit exactly what I was going to say. Anything like the whole eat the elephant concept, where if you break it down to one bite at a time, awesome way to do it. And anything you're making modular, you can always kind of futz on or add or subtract, or even use it in conjunction with other projects that you said you have many of in the future. I mean, it's a great
Exactly.
way to
Reuse
do it.
each piece, you know. Like the power supply, right? That's kind of one of the more complicated things in building a deck is batteries, charging, discharging, voltage conversion. If you make that universal enough, then you can use it in all of your projects, and you're not just throwing money into one, but you've got bits and pieces you can use over and over again. So yeah, very cool deck. All these videos that we have, we're gonna put them up on YouTube separately as well. So anyone that wants to come back and just watch a segment, we'll do our best to chop things up a bit. Maybe cut out the section with Rocco as well, talking about the robot arm. So that way you can go back and watch the pieces that you want to, and then of course everything will still be up in the Discord. Might be moved to an archive section so that it'll still be available, but without more chatting being added to it. We'll see how we end up doing that, but all the stuff will still be up for everyone to check out later, and anyone joining us watching this in the future, everything will still be there. You'll still be able to interact with it, check it all out. Now, I believe this brings us to our last contest, and that is the one key keyboard.
Yeah. So really cool entry. I was not expecting someone to take it in this direction, and that's really the best way. That's the best surprise that you can give us is like, all right, we know a deck is like probably a keyboard, probably display, some guts in the inside. But when I put out like keyboard contests, sometimes it's fun to see like, hey, what did someone scavenge together, or how sleek can it look. But for this one key keyboard, I was really expecting people to experiment with macros. And I was really taken by surprise by this one. So I'll show the video. Let me pull it up. But yeah, it was quite out of left field.
Something I forgot to mention. Since Glenek was the only Cyberdeck entry, we do have some prizes coming your way too. And it was a absolute excellent build. We all really liked it, and I've watched that video a couple times now. So yeah, we've got some prizes coming your way as well for that one.
Yeah. And Glenn, like, not only did you build a deck, but you also entered into the commercials contest. So I don't know. Hats off. I'll find something extra cool to either send you or make sure that you get taken care of. Like, you put in a lot of effort, and that's hugely appreciated, dude. Good job. All right. Now I'm going to roll the clip, roll the tape, or yeah, whatever. All right, it's pulled up. Just let me know.
Oh, you can't push the button, can you?
No.
Okay.
This is my entry
There we
into the
go.
Cyberdeck Cafe 2023 keyboard contest. The theme of the contest is one key keyboard. So I shall be using an ignition key. Since the ignition key came with 2 separate keys, the extra key is to be discarded and destroyed. The design is based on the common 4-point ignition switch. Works by harnessing trinary trees, which has 50% more bits than the inferior binary trees. Traverse down the tree in a handy, QWERTY-inspired layout, and typing becomes simple, inefficient, and very human. Let's take a closer look at the screen. As you can see, the software breaks down the different paths through the tree by whether or not it would be typed with the left hand, the right hand, or the center row between each hand. It is then broken down to the 3 possible columns and then individual letters, with some extra keys thrown in as a bonus. The benefits are obvious. It eliminates any finger-based soreness because the wrist does most of the typing. It provides keyboard lockout security, since you can remove the key at any time and you can keep anyone short of the lock-picking lawyer locked out. The slow, sedate pace of typing means you have plenty of time to think of the next letter, much less next word or sentence. It is fully open-sourced and an affordable design, once the Raspberry Pis become available again. The following is an extended typing demonstration. This is
All right, and that was the one key keyboard that won. And sorry, I misspoke earlier. Glenx did. That was not Glenx that won the one key keyboard competition, but he also submitted an entry for the one key keyboard competition. So yeah. But congratulations to Tired Tate, who for the ignition switch. For me, the game changer was the fact that it's a trinary system, and that it's not like there's no key switches, there's no keycaps. It's super inefficient. No one would ever use it, but that's kind of like a trademark of building cyberdecks. Like if we wanted to do it the cheap and dirty way that like works better, like we would just buy a laptop. But no, he took the project to something else. And the fact that in the video he's actually typing on his deck with the ignition one key keyboard, pretty cool.
You know, I was thinking if it had a shorter delay, it might be kind of a cool like rotary password. You know, like
Yeah.
even if someone sat there and watched you do it, and you're just sitting there flicking back and forth, they wouldn't have a clue. They wouldn't know what you're doing. Like
I
that could
think
be a
like
great way to get into your, whatever encrypted hard drive.
if
It's
you were to
almost like
maximize it, what was the fastest like WPM you could type with that kind of thing?
Yeah, who knows, man? It's and it almost like turned into a rhythm game, like as it's counting down. Like if you want to, yeah, like you said, if you want to enter in a password real quick, you'd have to jiggle it. Or even if you use like the third, maybe you keep it as a binary system, but you use the third position, like the start position, as the entry. So it's almost like a chording keyboard, you know? I don't know. Really cool build. Yeah, congrats.
And Rocco, I believe you had something to say to the chat.
Yeah, chat, if you could for me, everyone, go ahead and just guess a random number. Pick a number between 1 and 25 for me if you could. Type it on into chat.
Since Boot just said rotary, I just had a funny idea of like these old dial phones with the rotary encoder. That as a keyboard. How about that?
That'd be cool.
That could be cool.
Would probably be a
Oh,
bit
Captain
more...
Numbnuts.
There we
There you
go.
Well, that is Captain Numbnuts in first with the answer. Right
That's
there,
insane.
17.
That was the first like,
Congratulations.
that's the first legitimate guess too. Like who does that?
And Glenek was in like 5 seconds after with the same guess. That was close. And why are we having them do this? They don't even know why, and they're just typing
I know, right?
numbers in.
Because they are good sports. Now, I'm giving away some Raspberry Pi Zero Ws. And you know what? I think I have two, and I think Lynette came in pretty close with that being the first answers right off the bat. I think I can part with two of them. If you guys want to go ahead and give us information, then we'll get them mailed out to you.
Awesome. Yeah. Drop me a DM over on Discord, and I will forward that over to Rocco, or send him a DM directly, and we'll coordinate.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Yeah, congrats. Love to see it.
And thank you, Rocco, for that little flash giveaway.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and there's tech to be had. Might as well do it. See what cool projects we make with them, right?
Do it
Man,
live.
we could just like stop using money and start trading Pi Zeros.
Hey man, you joke, but I think it's NAR that's building like the actual Cyberdeck Cafe in the Metaverse. Like, what if that's the currency in our virtual world? Is like we just trade Pi Zeros for stuff.
Please, that would be excellent. Like that would be great. You just pull out like a spread of zeros and like maybe have a 0W. That's your $100 bill.
I love it.
I mean, it's kind of accurate. The Pi Zero once cost $20. Like
actually,
the 0W I think was $20.
Do we have the picture that Nar posted earlier in the cafe? The current progress on the Metaverse Cafe. I'm trying to remember which channel he posted that in.
He's in chat. He should tell us.
Yes, tell us where it is, or repost it real quick somewhere, so we can pull it up. It's looking really pretty cool. Like, I remember, I think it was about a month or two ago, I jumped into one of the VR rooms that he was working on.
Okay,
it really is
I found it.
a trip being able to do that in the web browser, just like click a button and you're in VR. And that's the kind of thing you need to integrate with that, BCI brain scanning and some retinal projection headset.
Be like you're
So,
just like you're
am I right in thinking
Holy
that
cow.
Nar, you are currently watching Virtcon from inside a VR platform? Like, is that what's
That's the
happening
music
here?
video from
'Cause-
earlier in the
That's-
background.
Yeah.
The music video.
That's sick. This is insane.
Yup.
And that's really
Well,
cool.
next year's Virtcon might just have to take place inside the metaverse. Not
Actual
Facebook's
Virtcon.
metaverse, just a metaverse.
Make it
Someone's
fun.
metaverse.
Virtcon.
That's
It'll be
meta.
Virtcon.
Speaking of VR, I got my Steam Deck and I recently got up dual boot on it because I wanted to try something funny, just for shits and giggles and just for having tried it out. Virtual Desktop only runs on Windows, so that's why I dual booted it. And I tried to run my Oculus Quest 2 over Wi-Fi with the Steam Deck, and that actually worked pretty good. Some games are a bit too much, like Boneworks obviously is too much of a challenge. But simple things like Compound, which is just like Doom 3D, kind of.
Now you were streaming from the Steam Deck to your Oculus?
To the Oculus over Wi-Fi. 5
What about
gigahertz.
just doing the direct USB connection?
I haven't tried that, but that should also work. But that would also require an installation of Oculus software, I guess. But Virtual Desktop works without an additional Oculus app.
I
So that's nice.
thought it worked with Steam VR using the Oculus
Yes,
Quest
it does.
as a. Well, I have to play with that a bit. I do have the Quest 2, although I don't know if it made it with me on the trip or not. I got a feeling it's in storage, which is a shame. That thing was fun to play with.
Have you done much with it? It's the VR space is one of those things I haven't really dabbled into too much, but it looks fun, but I don't know, how much development it still needs or kind of what it's like in its current state.
You can do all the development you want with it.
It's a project, dude. It's never not under development. It's perpetually in development.
I see the link in the chat here. Did Nar share the link to watch the Virtcon in cyberspace? There we go. You can jump into VR if you want and continue watching the con from there. Very cool.
Yeah, that is
Probably should
super
have
cool.
shared that at the beginning. Next time we'll have to play around in there more. All right. So did that get through all of our contests? Did we miss anything?
We've got the Kerbal Space Program contest still.
Kerbal Space Program, yes. Where did that go in contest? Is that hidden for me? There we are. Now, is Ebbit still live in the program, trying to complete this?
I believe so. I talked to Ebbit, I want to say either this morning or last night, kind of wondering where he was getting at. For those of you that didn't look at what that contest was, you basically just needed to plant a flag with the cafe's cuppa. That's the skull mug with lightning bolts. You needed to plant that flag on one of the planets in Kerbal Space Program. You don't have to play career mode. You don't have to like just be in sandbox mode. It's fine. And getting that game, like you can get it not from Steam for pretty cheap. Just like Steam codes for that game are super cheap. But yeah, I will shill Kerbal Space Program every chance that I get because it gamifies engineering. It makes it fun, and you have like these little green booger men that oh, there we go. Oh, he's still streaming.
I pull it up. He is currently in there doing it, working on it.
Everyone go spam his
there's
chat
no
and
doubt
tell him
here. He definitely won this competition, not just by default, but also
There's
because
the flag.
he is grinding away at this, which I have only played the game for a very short time myself. I assume, Helix, that what you did was something dirty and difficult and like basically make people pull their hair out to complete this mission.
Oh yeah. This is like the contest was no small feat. The even just getting off the planet without exploding, if you're new to the game, it's no simple thing to just be like, oh, I pick rocket A and that'll get me to space. It's like, no, you choose like solid state. You have to choose how much mass of fuel you want to bring with you. You have to choose like, hey, I need to put a parachute on my capsule. My capsule weighs so many kilograms. And it's really like a realistic, quote unquote. I know people are going to get mad if I say realistic, but it's a pretty accurate way of like modeling how you get into orbit. And then once you get into orbit, land on the moon.
I wouldn't doubt it if SpaceX was using this in the early days.
So I know NASA has used it as a learning tool. I'm like 90% sure they have. But yeah, like it goes everywhere from like building your own rocket to building a space station where you have to refuel. You build a rover so you can like, you don't have to walk around, you can drive on like whatever planet you land on. And there's like legitimate astronautical theory that you have to put into place. Like, how do I transfer out of Earth orbit to get into the orbit of this other interplanetary body? So like, it's legit stuff that you're learning, but you get to do it while you're controlling a little green dude. So it's a lot of fun. It's dirt cheap if you just go get a Steam code from somewhere. And I think the sequel is coming out soon, which is going to be awesome because the first game was a blast. But yeah, congratulations, Ebbet, on winning that one. I don't remember what the prize is. It's in the contest post, but yeah, like look at that. It's 4,000 parachutes to land on this place with, yeah, Elon Musk would be jealous.
Very cool. And when we come back for the next Virtcon next year, we will have even harder puzzles and prizes and things to win. Much more difficult. No one's gonna be solving the next one in a day or 2 or a month. We might just have to like make it like a 3-month puzzle.
Fine by me.
No, that
puzzle.
That'd be great. If we can get Lydia to spare some time again. That first one that she built was really a nightmare. I tried my hand at it, and it's just like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to learn this. And there is still one unsolved puzzle from the very first Virtcon. One of the scenographic images. But unfortunately, because the original website is no longer up, the page that it would link to is no longer available. So I'll go ahead and say that if you had found the image, the hidden image, it had a URL that went right to a page at the Cyberdeck Cafe. Not hidden, not cleverly disguised or anything. You could have found it just by doing a web crawl of the website. And if you'd found that page, you would have known to message me with a certain keyword, which was apple pie. And you would have won a Raspberry Pi. But that one went unsolved for the 6 months or so that it was up. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, we didn't do any hidden contests this year, but maybe next year we'll ask someone to, like, I don't know, hide a URL in their documentation, and then, yeah, that's what next year's theme will be. Will be RTFM, and then best documentation wins, most creative documentation wins. That kind, like, we'll hide stuff in there. Yeah, you know what? You got me thinking now.
It's a good theme.
Short reminder to stay hydrated.
This message brought to you by the hydration.
With brought to you by Slurm. Apparently, what are you drinking?
Cooling fluid.
There you go. Nothing like a little propylene glycol for you. You guys actually have water on hand. Damn it. I'm slacking.
It's Kool-Aid. It's Kool-Aid.
All I have is, like, cold coffee and whiskey. This is bad.
Whatever works, right?
Yeah. All right, Dr. Slurm. I think our next segment is going to be a live set from Player 2, who's going to spin some music for us. So, Player 2, you ready?
Hold up.
All right. Yeah, if you need a couple minutes, that's fine. There we go. The OP1. Beautiful.
The OP1. Very powerful device.
Let me see those keycaps real quick. That's cool. I like that classic Windows. The classic Windows logo is.
Yeah, this fucking classic Windows logo cost me like $20 to have on my fucking keyboard.
Oof.
Because I got a few black and white ones and a colorful one, and it came in a few different sizes additionally. So yeah.
Well, hey man, if you ever need to get rid of one, let me know.
Yeah, if you need a one by one units, I think. Also, I have Windows and ones with Cherry logo.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, Cherry. Oh,
Yeah.
Cherry.
Sad story.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, but I want to record this. So I gotta get rid of my fucking glasses so I can actually see shit. Because without glasses, I'm almost blind. Like, not almost, but like
mostly.
So yeah, Boot, Player 2 is about to start his live set, and then I think I want to say that's it for, like, talks and, like, the official quote unquote agenda. This is about as far out as we organized our ideas.
I think this is a great way to wrap up what we're doing here.
Hell yeah.
Play us home, Player 2.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get my LEDs set up because I have a different pair of LEDs.
What's that thing that Bill O'Reilly said when they were trying to tell him to say like Sting was gonna play him out? He's like, "What does that mean to play us out?" Yeah. We'll do it live. Oh, Bill.
Bill O'Reilly, truly a man with his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, he needs to keep his fingers to himself, but yeah, we should see if we could get Bill O'Reilly on an episode of Technical Difficulties. Think he'll show up?
As long as he doesn't know what it is beforehand.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, but then we'd like be explaining it to him and stuff. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Okay.
Glad you liked it, Gary T.
Yeah, and Gary, if you want, the first Virtcon is on the channel as well. That one's just that one's a nice short, 7 hours long. But there are some great talks in there, some really cool hardware, and also more great guests too.
I forgot how long the first one was. Yeah, we had a short Virtcon this year.
The one last year was Was it last year? 8 hours, I think.
No, the first
I-
year, the first one was 7. I think we've kept them all a bit shorter since then.
Yeah.
Mix of this and that.
But yeah, I can remember the first one very good because I remember when we wrapped it up, the sun was rising on my end.
Hell yeah. That's commitment.
I guess. So let's see. Is that audible?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Awesome.
Yep, sounds good.
I will try to avoid the word audible in the future because I just had a situation a few hours ago where I used that word and they were like, "Are you talking about the Audible by Amazon?" No, that sucks. Fuck you. I'm not using that word again, but I just did it. Yeah. Then I'm gonna be playing my set now. I'll start recording in OBS. Maybe I'll put the microphone up a little more. Because, yeah, right now it's a bit quiet, maybe. But it will get louder, I think. So, yeah. I'm player 2. My artist name is Malbert. And I hope you enjoy this live set on the Cyberdeck Cafe. And with that, I think I'm done after like over 30 minutes of a live set. I hope you enjoyed it. And
Indeed.
this.
That was sick, dude.
Thank you.
We actually gained some viewers while that was playing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, if you want more, I have this thing. That's a fucking calculator.
Player 2, do you have tracks up on YouTube or Spotify or something?
I have one track on Spotify, but it's not made with the OP1. But yeah, I have one on Spotify
Drop
and
your
Apple Music.
drop your links into YouTube chat.
Yeah, because I got to say that was amazing, especially that part in the middle where it got like lo-fi and you had the arpeggiator going. Like, loved it.
There's
The
a
arpeggiator is awesome on this thing.
there were a couple of hip hop sections that I was like, all right, kind of got my head bobbing a little bit. Like, yeah, man, that was really sick.
Yeah, and when this is done, we should pull a copy of the stream and then grab that chunk to upload separate too.
I
So
can
that
I can also.
But I was gonna see if
recorded it in
you-
OBS. I recorded. It in
Okay, yeah,
OBS.
I was gonna see if you recorded it because StreamYard just crushes although kind of adds to the ambience of the lo-fi. It kills the audio quality, so a direct feed might be better, which we could overlay with the video.
Yeah, let me pull up the YouTube. Show my link.
Yeah, how long have you been producing?
I started in I think 2020.
Nice.
Yeah, I only do hardware stuff, which is kind of odd, but bro,
That's
that's
very
one
cool.
long-ass
I mean-
link. What the hell?
Yeah, you're very good at it.
Thank you.
Something real quick here. Captain Numbnuts has graciously decided to pass his prize on to another member of the chat. He already has enough Pi Zeros to fill a box, apparently. We've got, well, now we're down to 14 viewers. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm holding up a number on my hand that you can't see off screen. So spam the chat with from 1 through 15 starting now if you want a Pi Zero. Either the chat's frozen or everybody else is.
I think there's a
Anyone?
delay.
Anyone?
There's a delay between when people put stuff in chat and when it shows up for us.
All right.
Bro, who put
Keep it going.
Nar.
Keep it going.
17? That's over 15. That's not within the range.
Keep
You
it
named the
going.
numbers
There's
right.
still a couple numbers left. It hasn't been picked yet. My God, it's going to be the last one that gets picked. I'll give you a hint. It's how many fingers I have on one hand. 32.
I like the 115. He's got a
I'm going
wild
with
hand.
42 because that's the answer to everything.
All right, let me just. All right, so it is 5. I believe we have our winner. Let me just double check the chat, make sure it didn't get picked earlier. It is Mr. Palindrome. Mr. Palindrome, you have won a Pi Zero. DM me on Discord, and we'll get your details and get that out to you.
Wait, was it Palindrome or Control FPV?
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. It is Control FPV. That one popped up before yours.
I'm sure Control's gonna put that thing on an FPV drone.
All right, Control FPV, that is yours. Sorry about that, Palindrome. My mistake on the laggy chat.
Congrats.
Twan.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I
Congrats.
think that does it for day 1 of Virtcon 2023.
Yeah, for day 2, we're going to be hanging out in the Discord. I say we loosely because it'll be whoever decides to show up. Maybe a little putt-putt golf tournament, play some anime, some music, we'll see how the day goes. And hopefully there'll be a whole bunch of,
Nerds.
projects to check out, show off your decks.
Yeah. I'm
Deck.
like, for me, it's going to be
DECK.
Show us your deck picks. Yeah, like I'm gonna treat it as a build-a-thon. So if you like have a project that you need help with, or you want to work on like on stream, show up, hang out. Maybe player two will give us some more music. Who knows?
Yeah, I have a calculator, so
And he's got a calculator. How
that
could you
thing
not
can
show
do
up
music.
for that? All right. Well,
That thing actually can do funk. If you want to do some funk.
well, now I want to do some funk tomorrow. But
Tomorrow, yes.
that's
Tomorrow.
all I've got.
Yeah. So thanks all for joining. Another Virtcon, another successful.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'll try to
Live
pop in and out
stream.
tomorrow if anyone's working on stuff to see if I can help out where I can. I love projects, love helping out, love to see what y'all are making.
You're a
You
saint,
know, that would
Rocco.
be great if I get some, people in there with the code they're working on. Maybe we can trade
I'm sorry, what's
chat
that?
GP. Oh, if we got in there with anyone working on some code, some like really some heavy questions. Maybe we just make it a build day. Like,
Yeah.
get those top-down cameras running
Yeah, it
and
could be
actually
fun.
build.
Hell
I've
yeah.
got all the parts sitting around for a dozen decks. Maybe I'll sit down and
drones.
actually build something. And drones, yeah. Running out of drone parts quickly, though. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining.
Do we have an outro video yet?
We've got the same intro.
Yeah, let's
We're
find
never
a
gonna-
video on our way out.
I have a video.
We're never
Yeah.
gonna have an outro video.
If I am switching to my other glasses, I can.
I was just kidding.
I have one at hand. Let's say it like this. I'm not gonna make
right.
one, but I just gonna search it on my hard drive real quick. I know where it is.
Spinning Rust. But yeah, we'll be around tomorrow. Afternoon, call it afternoon, evening. I'm gonna go fly some drones in the morning.
There you go. All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow. And yeah, we'll catch you around the cafe. Buenos
Yeah,
noches.
thanks for having me. Y'all have a great night.
Later on.